3 years ago, I got on a plane with my husband to Saudi Arabia, a country I've never been to, that people had so many speculations about. I found myself in Saudi Arabia. It was not all fun, but here I am trying to tell you that this girl that came to Saudi Arabia 3 years ago with so much questions in mind has finally fallen in love with Saudi Arabia. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and the last episode of my Living in Saudi Chronicles. This is officially my sign-off video from Saudi Arabia, trying to relive my times in Saudi Arabia. Like you guys know, I always mention in my video, I've been here for the past 3 years and I'm officially left. Yeah. Some of you will ask so many questions in mind. Why did she leave? You love it so much. Why did you have to leave? Well, I believe that there's a trajectory of people's lives that, continues to move up. This trajectory of my life has demanded that I move to another place. After all, people leave the UK, the Jackpa from Nigeria to the UK, and then we Jackpa again from the UK to the US, and we Jackpa to Canada, and from Canada they Jackpa back to the UK. So people, it's just life. It's just a continuous process until you finally find the place that aligns perfectly with God's will and purpose for your life. And yeah, for the fact that we also continuously need to grow in career and every other wise, something did not really offer me that. So I needed somewhere where I was going to, grow career-wise and everything. So there were just so many factors in place that required that definitely. In fact, when we went to Saudi 3 years ago, we knew that it was just a stepping into something. But I didn't realize how much that Saudi Arabia will mean to me, or how greatly I'll be impacted by my 3 years of living. I came to Saudi Arabia in 2020, and when we first arrived to Riyadh, of course, the ambience, the beauty of the town, it kind of captivated me. My interest was piqued because, of course, I was very curious to see what the city held for me. But coming to realize that it's a city where people basically have their own language, have their own culture, at that point I realized I was going to be a tad difficult for me. But I was very expectant. I had hopes that somehow I was going to adapt and adjust to the whole environment. You guys, fast forward to when we got to the city where we got posted on, I realized that, when they say it's all fun and games, until you finally realize that reality has dawned. When we got to the city, it felt like, oh my God, what in the name of solitude is this? Thank God for the first Nigerian family that we met at the first city that we went to. They were like a life support for us at the time, offered encouragement, told us they've been here for a while, and told us that definitely we're going to get by. Anyways, that was how the whole journey started, and we started living in Saudi, trying to adapt to a new culture, a new language, the abaya lifestyle. I don't even think I went to Saudi with an, I didn't go to Saudi with an abaya. I just wore my normal jean trousers and top. I didn't bother to wear an abaya because I didn't know that it was going to be that strict in those areas. We saw ourselves in the very small towns of Saudi Arabia. And I had to, that night, we had to go get an abaya because we realized that we're no more in the big city, the Riyadh city anymore, that we are now in the small town where we found ourselves. Anyway, that was how we started living, and every day felt like a torment. I was like, what kind of people are socially isolated? I said that, but it was later I would realize that everybody has a way of defining their fun. Even in that solitude, they know how to define their fun, and that's right. But it was hard for me, given where I come from. It was really hard for me. I struggled to adapt. I struggled to blend in. There were days I cried. There were days I would just come out and be like, oh my God, I just want to leave. but I was just really married at the time, and there was no way I could leave my husband and just go back home and be doing what exactly. So I had to just stay. I had to stay, and I stayed, and eventually I got a hang of it. And trust me, I left Saudi, but I still miss Saudi. There are times when my husband will be like, I never knew that you loved Saudi like this. I'm not gonna know where that is coming from, but this is what it is. I adapted, and that's the major thing you need: adaptation. I got an abaya, I started wearing an abaya. That was the first step to adaptation. So at the time, I won't lie, I greatly detested that abaya thing, because I was like, how do people actually just have to wear this particular? And at the time, I never saw people wear colorful ones, especially those small times, always like the black and black. I'm like, what kind of boredom is this? Like, I have to. It also kind of added to, I don't want to use the word depressed, I felt, but then I eventually did come to love the abaya. I didn't do all black, I did a mix of color, but I realized that the abaya is an efficient piece of clothing, really beautiful. When I started wearing it and it became a part of me, I began to style out in different interesting ways, and I came to love it. And honestly, if I hadn't left Nigeria for Saudi Arabia, I might not have actually tried. That is one thing about experiencing people's culture. I would have ever. Why would I even want to buy an abaya to start with? But you realize one thing abaya did to me one time. I went back to Nigeria and I wasn't comfortable going out without an abaya. I'm like, what is this? This is impact. From the struggle of wearing a abaya and not getting used to wearing an abaya, I eventually came to now wear the abaya and not love the abaya. Once it down, I started adapting. That was the whole adaptation process. So the next thing that I struggled with, of course, the language. Sometimes you go out, you go to the hospital or you go to the store, people are just speaking the language that you can't even understand, and they talk to you, they don't even want to know. They expect that you should know how to speak Arabic when you're there, and they're speaking this in like, the only one I could muster at the time was Mafi. Mafi means no, Mafi. And I was like, oh, Mafi Arabic. That was the one I could muster at the time. And that was how I kept going until I started getting like a hang of it, a little by little, to start saying words like shukran, saying the small words, just tiny bits Arabic. So, by the way, I kept to love the language. Did you guys know how much these people have an impact on me? I still watching this Love is Blind Habib, that's the Dubai version, and I just don't want to listen to it in English. I just want to hear it in Arabic. That's how much I came to love the language. Then I now moved to a city where I met like a larger Nigerian community, and it was much easier because we were fun, we had gatherings, we gathered during Christmas, just have activities together, have fun, talk, visit each other, and actually kind of eased the tension a little, eased the boredom a little, and we kept going and going. Everything was going well until it wasn't anymore. The boredom continued. It was so, it was so difficult. But at a point, we now realized that maybe the way around this thing is just to just find something that, that will just keep you busy, something that will just keep you engaged, something that will just, that you could be doing to get your mind off the boredom. Because if it's about the boredom, those small towns, trust me, when I say socially isolated, I mean that word in every sense of it. But like I said, people have their own definition of fun. And then we started traveling, seeing Saudi, going to different places, exploring, and it was more fun. That was then I now began to realize that life is what you make of it. Saudi Arabia, living in Saudi, is what you make of it, really. If you decide to just be in your own shelf and just be sober and sad, that sadness will rub off on you. You can make or mar how your experience will be. It's totally up to you. Anyways, that was how I started adapting, traveling around, seeing Saudi, and I said, great. I thought to myself, why not start documenting, life in Saudi Arabia? And that was how I felt gingered to start documenting. I actually saw a video of a woman then. Her name is Cheese Space. She was already in the UK at the time I saw her video. So I leveraged on that to start my own channel, and I started posting about life in Saudi Arabia. Living in Saudi Arabia gave me such an experience. and I won't even lie. Honestly speaking, it's not that there are no downsides. There are downsides of living in this place a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I've even pointed out some in my videos, and I've pointed out some earlier, the boredom. I'm a Christian girl. There's no churches, the career path. It didn't give me room to grow career-wise, but I reinvented myself in so many other ways. But then, trust me, irrespective of all this, I came to love this place. And believe me, not everyone has this to say about Saudi, honestly speaking. So yeah, I'm thankful for the experience. It enlightened me and embroidered my horizon. It's been quite an experience. And the end of 2 years has come. I officially signed out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You guys, this is the end. And I always tell my husband that hopefully sometime in the future I'll still come back to Saudi Arabia to explore, because there are so many things I did not even expect when I was in Saudi. I didn't go to Al Ula, so I'm definitely going to go to Al Ula. If you're someone that is watching this from Saudi, or you want to move to Saudi or anything, I have a plethora of videos about Saudi that you can watch to give you clarity about any questions at all you need to get answered concerning living in Saudi Arabia. But we'll move to the next place. By the grace of Almighty God, I'm so thankful to God for the experience and everything learned. And I hope that you watching this video, you also get to learn something from this experience of mine. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next series of my relocation. Bye.